Hi everybody, it's me, Henry Perezalonso again, and I'm here with the Take 5 Challenge, sponsored by CPRS and the Push to Play Network. For those of you who don't know what this is all about, really this is about professionals taking some time with each other to sharpen each other, to have a chat, really more specifically for us to intentionally take time out of our day to connect with another professional. Whether it's someone that has come up before you, coming behind you, someone who's right next to you in the profession. But this is an opportunity for us to sit down, chat, and just, play, discuss, whatever it may be. Now, today's show is a little bit different. So I have sent out this kind of impromptu invite. I don't know who's going to be here. I don't know if anyone's going to be here, but I just wanted to make sure that I sent out an invitation to some special guests. We'll see who pops in and who has the conversation. I just thought it might be fun to give it a go to see who would actually take some time out of their day just for us to connect on this whole thing. So when I come back, I will have some guests or it'll be more of me. So I just wanted to share that with you. So I'll be right back with a guest or two or three or four, but we shall see. Again, thank you to CPRS. Thank you to the Push to Play Network and for having us here on the Take 5 Challenge. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back to the Take 5 Challenge. So excited because this was my impromptu, let's see who I can get on the line kind of call. And right now, maybe there's more, but right now with me is Tom Hellman. Hey, Tom, how's it going, man?
Good, Henry. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm actually pretty pumped because I was sitting there thinking, you know what? I need some energy coming back at me. I need something happening today, and I want to see if I could actually get somebody on the line to just chat with them. Just because normally, sometimes we just pick up the phone call and just start talking to people, right? And that's, I think, when I think about the Take 5 Challenge, that's one of the things that we can do is just pick up and call. So today I did, for those of you who are watching, I just emailed a bunch of people and I said, hey, anybody got about 15 plus minutes? I'm going to start recording at this time. Would love to have you come on, and then we'll go from there. So, which is kind of fun. So we'll see who pops in right now. I know that we said we were going to start at a certain time. We're early because that's how we do it, right? If you're late, if you're early, you're late. If you're on time, you're late. Something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever something along those lines.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, something I do that.
You threw up the Take 5's bat signal, and I saw it. So here I am.
No, I dig that. I think that was exciting for me because I'm like, what's next? Who do I talk about? What is happening? So how are things in your world right now? Tell somebody who doesn't know you, who are you?
Sure, yeah. So currently I'm with the City of Folsom, so Sacramento County. If we haven't had a chance, you've probably seen me over the past several years, but I am a past president of the Society. Served as the 75th president of the Society in 2021.
You're still holding on to that one, huh?
It's the one thing I can do. I was the president immediately post-pandemic, so we had some interesting things there, and Henry, you're a part of that, as I was sworn in virtually and then welcomed everybody back into a gathering at the conference in Sacramento in 2022, right? Yeah. And so, a lot of firsts, a lot of news, a lot of uncertainties, but that was great. And then right now I'm in charge of recreation and community services for the City of Folsom, so I got my hands on a little bit of everything with recreation, from arts to seniors to the traditional aquatics and sports stuff. And then kind of newfound passion that I'm working with is my involvement with the foundation, the branch arm of CPRS for the foundation, with the California Foundation for Parks and Recreation. So that's been fun over the last couple of years, and looking to build those resources, services, programs, opportunities with the Board of Trustees, and seeing where we go with that.
That's kind of cool. So how does, I also, just so you know, people, am part of this foundation, so which is kind of one of the fun things that we get to do as past presidents, but it's also not one of the things that you have to do as a past president at all. It's like once you're part of it, in the presidential series, you're a part of the foundation to kind of understand what's going on and how to reach out, but it doesn't mean that you have to continue. But I think you and I both this is fun. This is something that is exciting, and we could actually do something for the profession through the foundation, however that may roll out, right?
Right.
In the end, because I think at the end of the day, you want to have people have opportunity to let people get some kind of research, data, or connection or scholarship to be able to do something. So it's not just about scholarships, anymore. We really want to provide for more, which I think it's a noble cause, as they would say.
Yes.
But,
yes.
But I think it's pretty cool, and it's still as old as it is. I feel like it's still going through a refreshness, right?
Right.
Yeah. Of how that rolls out. So what is your thought on what the foundation is and or can be one day for the profession?
Yeah. Well, one, the foundation is separate from CPRS, but in conjunction with CPRS. So I think for simplicity terms, the foundation is a nonprofit 501c3. So there are different regulations applied to foundations than CPRS as a trade association. But then there's also different responsibilities placed on foundations other than CPRS as a trade association, right? And so what I feel like I've come in over the last several years, like you as a past president, to now I learn about the foundation. You meet other past presidents and trustees that have been a part of it and what they've done and what the challenges are, and then kind of found an opportunity, right? Okay, this is what I feel like I could bring to the table post CPRS leadership time, and recognizing that really a true goal of every foundation, no matter the size of the foundation, is to raise money to then figure out what those program services are that they want to deliver, to then disseminate that money. And so, if you're a foundation and you don't have money, you're not going to make an impact. And so, I found an opportunity that I said, hey, this is how I can help, and this is what I wanted to do as far as looking to raise some funds for the foundation.
That's pretty cool. Hey, Tom, look who we got here.
Look who it is.
Speaking of foundation and members.
How are you?
Hey, who do we have with us? Tell the people who just popped in on us. I love this. Who are you, young lady?
Who am I? I'm not sure. Last I checked, Tara G with City of Roseville.
That's so awesome. And for those of you watching again, another past president here for CPRS. And as you can tell, there's kind of a theme going on here at the moment with what's happening here with the Take 5. This was like, Tara, thanks so much. It was really one of those things, and I've already said it, but we'll say it again. But it's just let me see who we can get on today, and just have a chat with, and who we can connect with. And you guys, for me, like, I'm totally smiling and my heart is full because you're some of my favorite people, and to have you on the same call or have you at the same time, it's like, sweet, this is kind of cool to be able to do this, because this is the stuff we do, right? In the hallways at conference, or just to check in on each other if we happen to see. It's like, what's happening, what's going on. Tom was just talking about the foundation and what that could be, and I know you're involved with that as well. And again, you don't have to be a past president to be involved with the foundation. So if you know some big dollar people, let us know. We'll hook them up.
Hook them up, yeah.
To do some things.
Sure. Well, TNT is back together again for the moment, right?
There we go. Yes.
Yes. So you guys have the unfortunate thing to be our COVID presidents, right? So rolling in, rolling out, and all that fun stuff, and how that went. And honestly, I think about it all the time. And I think specifically you, Tara, I said, I don't know if there could have been anyone else to lead us through that whole thing if it wasn't you. And it just there's a way about you, there's a demeanor about you, there's something that we all just gravitate towards because you're just you, and it's the coolest thing to know, and it's just kudos to you to be able to kind of pull us through as an association through that time in such a calm, deliberate. I mean, I don't know, Tom, what else would you say to that one? I think it was cool.
It was cool. It was Terry, you did not put the ownership of responsibility solely on your shoulders. You made sure that your board was with you and you carried us through. You pep talked us when you needed us, and demonstrated that. But also you just kind of dropped your own self, kind of like, okay, this is probably what I wanted to do, but realizing that's not what's going to happen. And you didn't hold a grudge to the fact that the world just had different plans. And so, the popular word that year was, pivoting. And so you kind of just said, well, I'm not just going to pivot, I'm just going to keep spinning throughout the year, and we'll figure it out together. And, we had some great stuff via virtual conversations with the CPRS leadership, and We did leadership summits still with the CPRS leadership, and we engaged in different capacities when we all needed to still be a community. And you spearheaded all that as our president, but knowing that you couldn't do it all yourself. And so that was something I carried with me into my presidential term as well, is just recognizing those same things.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. I think that there's no way that, like you said, this could have been done with one person alone. I had a great board. I had you, Tom, to lean on, and you were right there, rock solid. I would not have been able to do it without solid people who were on the board at that time. And frankly, I was served on the board when Henry was president too. And so I was your VP. And
yeah, I mean, it's
you know?
I mean, to talk about that stuff right now, like who's surrounding us, right? That is such a big picture. That's something that I recognize right now. So you all know I'm in this new gig here, and I came to a bigger city from where I was, but the people that surround me, don't tell them, but they're awesome. No, I tell them all the time. It's like, how do you walk into a place and you are now the coach or leader of an all-star team? And I think that we've had that opportunity right before, and I didn't really recognize it till right this moment when you guys are talking about that, of how we're surrounded by such great people and great individuals, great professionals, that how can we not succeed, right? How can we not do good things in the role that they placed upon us, and they trusted us with? So it's pretty amazing.
For sure. And when you go through such a year of whatever it was that you go through as president and stuff, sometimes people have a hard time letting go. But honestly, Tom being able to go through that together, it was like so easy to say, here you go, because I knew you had your thoughts too. You still had to deal with COVID and all of that, but you had some opportunities to do things beyond that, because things were starting to loosen up. So, certainly you can call me the pandemic president, but you're the post-pandemic president. You led us through a humongous transition. So
Tom's the PS, right? Postscript.
Yeah.
No, I'm the 75th. You can't be making different acronyms.
You keep holding on to that one, and for those that are watching and paying attention, 75 is only a number, right? I mean, it's like just the Diamond Jubilee, right? So I'm just not sure of the association.
It was a wonderful year to celebrate. It all accumulated or came together just perfectly.
So how for you guys right now, how are things? And when I say things, I guess I'm going to say work stuff, right? How are work stuff? Is there anything exciting happening? And what's kind of cool is, like, I guess right now it's the whole Northern California crew. Don't think Southern California that I didn't invite some of you. I'm just letting you know that they're not here. But what's cooking in the
I think they're
in the
busier
north?
than us.
Yeah.
What, Tom?
Yeah, right. They had more things to do at 3:45 p.m., I guess. But
No, you guys, I would say you took the opportunity. You said take five, like you said, the take five bat signal went up, and there you guys are. So I'll take it.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Tara and I, we're neighbors, different counties, of course, but still neighbors. She's to our north in Roseville, and I think what's happened for both of us actually is we've got some park development projects all happening. We just completed a park in December. It's our 49th park in our new area. If you're driving east on Highway 50 as you make your way just beyond Folsom into El Dorado County, you'll see the Southland, referred to as Folsom Ranch, and it's a big community, 3,600 homes right now. Additional, I think it was 8,000, 9,000 people entered into our community, and we just built our first park, 2 schools over there. We're working towards another park here in the coming year and a half. So lots of good stuff happening in Folsom. We have a new city manager that came to us from the Central Valley down in, what would that be, District 5, I think, City of Oakdale, right? So, it's not the little gold neck of town anymore, Folsom. We're a little bit more booming now. But I think that's kind of similar in what's happening in your neck of the woods, right, Tara?
Yeah, we tease our city manager to say, we just open one park a month. That's all he asks. So, we
The
just
Blue
did.
Diamond almonds, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Blue Diamond almonds. We had quite a big year. We had some major renovations, from like tear the whole thing down and build it up again. So we certainly have put a priority on reinvesting in some of our older facilities. But we're also working on some really unique new ones. We opened our first frisbee golf course, or disc golf course. It's not frisbee,
Right.
it's
Yes.
disc golf course, and it is super popular. Everybody, the terrain and the oaks and everything, and I think that they have this app that tracks people coming in and coming out. And so the first month we were open, we were the third most used in the world.
Oh, wow.
In
Wow.
the world, and I don't know how they do that, but that's what they told us. So we had, a opportunity to open that. We did our 9 pickleball court complex, which is inundated and super popular, and we're hopefully going to be opening our signature soccer complex at the end of 2025. So
nice.
that one's going to be a 10-field, artificially field lighted soccer complex with our largest universally accessible playground. So we've got lots going on there. And so, I always say we're not just building fields, we're building an experience. So people will come here and hopefully remember positively the experience they have. And, when you talk about all these things, I'm preaching to the choir here, but that's all economic development. That soccer complex will bring in about citywide, $15 million of revenue, tax revenue, when you think about people coming in, they're eating in our restaurants, shopping, doing entertainment, all of that. So basically, in 4 years, it'll pay for itself if our estimates are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, with that and just thinking about this development stuff, I know, well, 2 things, right? It's not done by one person. There's like a huge group of people that do that. But even just listening to that, and for some folks that might be paying attention today, even down to the frontline position, those coordinators, those people that are going to be doing this, all of this information, big picture stuff, is so important to their day-to-day work and life, which I love that messaging, right? It's not just about the complex, but look what it's bringing to our city. Look at how we're bringing more people in. And I guess the question that's kind of come up in my mind, this could be for both of you, as we're doing these parks and doing these developments, how do I, a coordinator, how do I, maybe a rec tech or a new supervisor, really look at this stuff and really understand how to communicate that to others or even to myself? Does that make sense? I'm just trying, that was just something kind of popped up in my head as you guys were talking.
Yeah. Well, as Tara was talking, I was thinking we're kind of doing the same thing, right? We're a youth sports mecca here in Folsom, just not only from our own kids that live here, but kind of regionally, if you will, in the Sacramento Valley and so forth. And, I've always kind of used the tagline of, while we create community, we build experiences and do great programming and offer opportunities. A byproduct of so much of what we do on a day-to-day basis and annually is a level of big economic development. And economic impact within our community, from various events that we have to, obviously hosting maybe their sports tournaments, and people are traveling into town, staying in hotels, buying food, all those different types of things, right? And I don't know if this is true across the entire state, but that's been a focus point for me in recreation and for our department to kind of demonstrate, hey, yeah, these are the program revenue and rental fees that we apply, and this is the money that's coming in, right? But then there's this whole other side that has really been tough to quantify and to provide data to really demonstrate, right? And so we invested in an economic impact calculator that we can input these tournament dollars and participation, and it'll give us that data, right? So over a course of a year, we'll be able to say, as a byproduct to so much work that we do, here's an impact that we're also delivering to the community, right? It's an estimate, it's a national average that's applied, but at least it gives some quantifiable data that we can use versus we think it does 10 million or whatever the case is going to be, right? And so I think that's gonna be a huge number for us here in Folsom that really demonstrates like the significance of the services we have, the amenities we have, the opportunities we have, and the scheduling that we do throughout the year for so many different things, not just sports, even just your daily recreation swim experience, like is drawing hundreds of people, or your youth indoor soccer program or outdoor NFL or flag football program. Like they're going somewhere, and then most likely they're going out to eat afterwards or something, right?
Yeah.
It's all driving economic impact dollars someplace, and we're connected to that a lot more than I think we have given ourselves credit for in the past.
Well, and we, speaking of that, we have subscribed to Placer AI. And for those who don't know what that is, I mean, basically you can track any park facility. So, for example, our 9-court pickleball complex, we can track where people have come from. We can track how long they stay and play. And we can also track where they go after that. And a lot of times they're going either shopping beforehand, playing, and then going out to eat, or vice versa, that kind of thing. So you can see how many people are coming in and out, not only on a specific complex or a specific park site, but also what they do and where we can figure out with the economic calculator that you talked about, what they spend. But the indication is how many people are going to Target afterwards, or how many people are going to eat, in the restaurants that are right next door. So there's so many tools out there that help you share the story about the economic impact to a community.
Yeah.
And that's such an interesting thing that that wasn't necessarily our messages before, right? Back in the day, we didn't talk about how much we impact economic development, right, within our cities. And I think it's more and more. I think now, over the years, I think we've all been starting to speak that language and saying those things. And for the record, I picture this big old calculator that Tom pulls out and goes, clunk, 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 clunk. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, the abacus. Who's this Placer AI flying around going click, 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 just to get the numbers on and stuff. But I think that's good too. Like, not only does the discussion move one way, but then the technology is moving that way as well, and we need to be on top of that and know about that. Like, so I took notes. What's Placer AI, and then big ass calculator, trying to figure out where that one is. So, because that's what, honestly, you started saying that, and I get, but how else can you get big numbers without a big calculator? So, but just looking at that and how in a sense we kind of need to embrace that stuff, right? And start bringing that in, and I guess budgeting for it as well, because obviously there's a cost to it to get that. But there's definitely some stuff that we as a whole need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And that's at every level, right?
We're looking at partnerships, Henry. So, a lot of this comes from like Chamber of Commerce or tourism bureaus or visitor bureaus, that obviously want to attract tourism. I always say, like, tourism isn't a core value of Parks and Recreation because we're here to deliver services to our residents first, right? But it is a byproduct of the services we do provide, is some level of tourism, especially when we partner with various, whether they're youth organizations and or tourism or Chamber of Commerce's or whatnot, to host different events, right? So then that's driving that. But to your point, like, no, I don't think we've really had a strong conversation about that in Parks and Recreation over the years. Right. I think it's always been like that silent thing, like, yes, we do that, but we haven't demonstrated like how well we do it, and really we're the cornerstone to kind of make it happen.
Yeah.
Well, at least in Folsom it is. I don't know if that's for every community and agency, but there's great partnerships where you can get access to Placer AI or the economic impact calculator, and maybe jointly you're able to get these different modules together and find some data that kind of help tell your story stronger.
For sure.
Hey, maybe that's something the foundation can do for us.
Hey, maybe that is. Yeah. Get some grant money out there for some technology for communities, because it always dumping back into some level of funding, whether that's a tax-based fund or obviously local businesses or small businesses in your community that are benefiting and staying healthy and thriving.
Well, that's the easiest tax base, if you will, if you want to call it a tax base, is your transient occupancy tax or
Yeah.
your hotel tax, because it's not your residents that are paying that through the hotels, and that supports your programs and your agency, and so it's really is an engine to help create some sustainable revenue that comes in. So a lot of people will should benefit from that. And if you saw, going back to the COVID days, it was hit really hard. A lot of the agencies down in Southern California, where their tourism tax base was really impacted by staying at home, stay in place kind of thing. And it's huge when you can capitalize on that tourism, whether it's amateur sports or just, like you said, programs and events. And it's not just, I don't mean to say it like that, but those are very important things, not only the quality of life of your residents, because everybody enjoys it, but also to create sustainable revenue.
Yeah.
What's funny is, like, how many of us got into the biz to do the math and do the business part, right? And I think that's kind of an interesting take on all of us, as we go through our career. For those of us that are just starting out, it's like, hey, I would imagine that the newer professionals have more of a base of that stuff than we probably did, right? They already started recognizing it, that there's more of a connection beyond just the parks. And if not, I'm hoping they do, or hey, listen to this, watch this, this Take 5 podcast, and get a little more info from the experts over there, from the the big calculator wielder and the big artificial clicker
and AI.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing that you just sparked in my head, and that is the American Academy for Park and Recreation Administration. They just put out a video, the Career Development Task Force, they just put out a video that's called A Choice Career. And if you want to view it, it's on the NRPA website. But you're talking about all of these different backgrounds in education that can come into the profession and really thrive. You never knew, like, I'm a landscape architect by training. I never knew I could make a career out of Parks and Recreation, and here I am, So the video actually highlights all the different the experiences, education-wise, real-life experiences, and all the diversity that make up the Park and Recreation profession. And it's really cool to know that if you have a business background, for example, you can be in the administrative component or part of an agency and really drive some of those business decisions, versus if you like to be out in the field and you have all that experience on arboriculture or horticulture or agronomics. Those are things that really make the profession rock solid. And I don't think we take enough time to tell that story about how we can all come together and be a park and recreation professional.
That would be an interesting recruitment for all of us, right? To really look out for that. I know that personally, I do look for that, what they call added value, right? What is the added value of that particular candidate that would bring something different or bring something fresh to us? And I think that you just make a great point that maybe we as professionals need to really start looking at that and actively pursuing the business degree major, or the I would even say the psychology major. More specifically, what is the mind, what is the makeup of the things that we do, right? There is definitely stuff that they can bring in just to make us all better and give us to the next level, beyond the mathing and all that stuff. So I think that is an outstanding, interesting take on that, and I like that. And I like how this conversation just went in different places, because that's kind of, that's what we do as professionals. And sometimes we do it over, at happy hour, and sometimes we just get to do it here on an impromptu bat signal call, which I thank both of you guys for responding. There were a couple others that wanted to come in, and I know that they couldn't necessarily today, but we'll get them back on here at some point. And I just want to thank you guys for popping in with me on the Take 5 challenge. I know we took more than 5, but hey, this is what it's about. For those of you who are watching, this is how we do it, and this is modeling that Take 5 challenge that we've got out there right now through CPRS, through the recreation section. So as I do with all my guests on this podcast, I must ask the question, first, where can people get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you?
Easiest way is either on LinkedIn or just shoot me an email. You can find me on my new updated profile on CPRS.org, since they just launched that website, right? Been looking at that and navigating that, and as a longtime user, it's a nice refresh, but at the same time, it's like, okay, where is everything? So got my profile there, but just shoot me an email, thhelman@folsom.ca.us.
Cool. And Tara?
Same. I've got a LinkedIn page.
Oh, at Folsom?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you know? LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And then my email address here at the city is tgee@roseville.ca.us.
So, good to know. So the actual final question for you two is, would you two take on the challenge and be paired up with someone and Take 5?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I didn't know that was a question we had to answer.
Yeah.
No, it is, because it's really just making sure it's been said and recorded so that we can go ahead and match you up with somebody on that
Yeah,
side.
I
So
can
if
tell you, I was already paired and did it at least once already. I mean, not
That's
once,
awesome.
this last round. Yeah.
Yes.
So formally and then informally, we encourage you to keep doing that. And I just thank you guys for joining me, hanging out with me, and spending some time. For the rest of you, I will be right back with some of my final thoughts on this impromptu Take 5, collaboration of the minds kind of thing. So I'll be right back. And again, thank you to you two. And I'm back from a really cool conversation. One of those went a little longer today, which is fine. And I hope you did stay on and listen to the whole thing with my friends Tom and Tara, and just taking some time. Honestly, this is the kind of interaction that I think that we as professionals have naturally at different places and are just able to do. And I'm just so grateful for them to come through and spend some time with me. Really kind of sparked my brain in a couple different ways, right? We as a profession, what are we doing? How are we advancing? Anywhere through, Placer AI, through big old, economic development calculators, to bringing in different types of professionals from different types of backgrounds that can really help us and make us better. And I think that, I wrote notes when I was talking to him, and I think this is a really good thing for all of us to think about, is when we think about bigger, when we think about better, when we think about what's next for this profession, we need to consider what are the resources we have for us. And the biggest resource right now is the people, right? So who are the people? Who are we reaching out to make us that much better? So that's what I'm going to leave you with at the moment. Kind of go ahead and swim in that one for a little while. But I want to thank CPRS. Thank you to the Push to Play Network for taking 5 and having this Take 5 challenge coming at you. So thank you guys so much. I will see you next time on Take 5. Oh, wait! If you want to reach me, you can reach me at Take 5, so Take 5_5 challenge at Instagram. So, DM me, Take 5 challenge, DM Henry. I'd love to know who you want to see, what you want to hear us talk about. So reach out, let me know. Thanks.